Hey there everyone. So today I'll be reviewing the annotated version of a very classic book called The Phantom Tollbooth by Norton Juster. So this particular edition is illustrated by Jules Pfeiffer, and as you can see, this is the cover image. So for those of you who have not heard of Phantom Tollbooth, it's a very famous classic fairy tale kind of book. It's published way back in 1950s, I think. I'm not very sure about this. So this is the blurb. So it says, the Phantom Tollbooth is my first experience of opening a book with no special anticipation, gradually becoming aware that I am holding in my hands a newborn classic, lucid, humorous, full of warmth and real invention, by Emily Maxwell, The New Yorker. So let's open this up. So let me just take out the dust jacket. So this is the book beneath the dust jacket, and take that out. So as you can see, these are sketches by Pfeiffer. So as I understand, was is the illustrator, and he was the neighbor of the author. So I'll just give you the blurb, so that you can pause and read the blurb maybe if you want. And that's the thing at the back flap. So yeah, let's get into the book itself. So it opens up into a few more of those sketches. As always, I'll not be reviewing the book itself. So for a brief plot, you can always refer to sites such as Goodreads. This will be a review of the book itself and what it contains. So this is one of the best annotated editions I've read, because every page has some form of annotation for the content that is on the page itself. So there's an introduction by the author, and this is extensive. The research for the annotations for the introduction is extensive. So I don't remember who wrote the introduction for this. It's not by the author per se. Let's see. The introduction is huge, by the way. I read about halfway through it and went on to the actual book. I never was one for reading huge introductions, but even then, like, I read quite a bit of it. So as you can see, this is an advertisement published in New York Review, December 3, 1961, and the book is full of things like this, giving us slices of history. So this is the map, the Sea of Knowledge and Dictionopolis and doldrums and so on, the whole world. So yeah, so who was the introduction by? I think, let's see. So introduction is by if I'm not wrong, it's by Marcus. Yes, annotations by Leonard S. Marcus. He's if I'm not wrong, the introduction is also by him. So the annotator's notes here. and then it starts with the original book itself. So as you can see, every page has some form of annotation, every page, and some of the annotations are very extensive. For example, this illustration, so this is the illustration it covers, and then there's a annotator's notes, how the illustration went about, and he got it from the Museum of Modern Art, where he got it from, and how it affects. So for example, you can see the annotations, and every page, when I say every page, I literally do mean that every page has some form of annotation. This is one of the most extensive annotated copies of any book I've ever seen. I mean, I've read a few annotated copies, including Alice in Wonderland, and even that book does not have an annotation at every page, even though Alice in Wonderland is one of the most annotated books I've read. Let me try to zoom in a little, I guess. So, and you can see the original illustrations and where the illustrations are from. Zoom out. Yeah. So yeah, fairly thick book, hardcover, and really good copy, really well illustrated. Every possible illustration is in this book. Every illustration is accompanied by annotation, and then there are references as to for example, the ugly dilemma here. Let me just again get that. Yeah, so where does the root word for dilemma, and then so on and so forth. Like, this is basically a treat for children and adults alike. I would say this is more of an interest for adults, since children I don't think would be so much interested in in such a highly annotated book. It's a treat to read, in my opinion. And at the end, like, this is where it ends. There are handwritten, so this is where it ends. Previous page. So there's a handwritten appendix which contains notes of the original author. So as you can see here, it says this list hints at the author's fascination with the sounds and rhythms of language, as well as with the power of idiosyncratic words to stimulate a young reader's imagination. In the end, Juster found a use for several of these enticing verbal morsels. Lilly Library, Box 5, Folder 35. So just zoom out again, and then there is a handwritten draft, and then typing for the original synopsis typed by the author, and then select reviews. So this is kind of research work at the very end. Select reviews of Phantom Tollbooth and the different editions around the world, and so on. And finally, the acknowledgements, bibliography, articles, essays. The huge, like, it's a comprehensive text of everything in this book, followed finally by an index, and then it ends. So yes, that was the Annotated Phantom Tollbooth hardcover edition. I'll try to include a link for this in the description below, but I'm not very sure how well I can do, because this book is well out of print and I got it from a second-hand store myself. But as always, if you have any questions, any suggestions, feel free to drop a comment in the link below, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Happy reading.